You're probably wondering why I'm helping Sinister strap a mutant for his twisted experiments on the metal table. Long story short, I'm his hitman and retriever. I'm a mutant, and my mother never saw me in any different light, and she loved me regardless. Sadly, I don't know where she is right now. When I was 6 years old, she told me she'd love me, that she was going to be dropping off to her friends that she can trust. But I never got there. All I remember that day like it was yesterday. My mother was nervous, even scared, while driving down to her friend's house. But we never got there, as there was a loud explosion as the car came flying to the side, skidding on his roof. As all I saw was a bunch of men wearing some sort of SWAT uniform with a symbol on their chest. I will later find out that symbol is the call sign of the safety committee and his agents and my mother's old employers. My mother had no choice but to run. About time she regained her bearings from the car crash, I was already being put into the van. With the heroes en route, she was forced to flee. I never once blamed my mother. They drove. Sorry, after my mother escaped, they drove me to some sort of abandoned warehouse to cut any loose ends. They knew my mother, Lady Nagant, had a son, and they want to hide their little dirty secret. They were using my mother as their own personal assassin, killing a lot of innocent people and heroes, good or bad. If they spoke up against the safety committee, she was sent to silence them permanently. When she realized what she was doing, she rebelled. She thought the safety committee didn't know that she had a son, that she had me. She had me during her long, sorry, during her brief, long of time off that she would get occasionally. That will last half a month, or even a full year. And when my mother met my father, let's just say it's not your typical relationship. I never knew my father. My father was dead long before I was born. Apparently, my father was one of her targets she needed to kill. It was some sort of long-term operation. So she set the whole scene for her to meet him. After a couple more meetings, they slowly started to get closer, starting out as friends, then eventually getting together and got married. After their wedding night, she executed her orders, killing him in his sleep. When I found out, I was much older, so I did understand that my father, there was nothing there. She held no fondness for the man. It was simply a job. But she never once mistreated me, yelled at me, or hit me in any way. She might have been a deadly assassin for the safety committee, but to me, she was my mother. And when the safety committee pulled me into the abandoned warehouse, they tied me up to a long metal pole, and one of the agents slowly approached me and placed his silenced pistol against the barrel over my temple. But I did not close my eyes. Even when I was a kid, I was gutsy. I stared the man in the eye. I knew I was going to die, but I was not going to give him the benefit of the satisfaction of seeing me scared. But before he could pull the trigger, a man came out of the pitch black portal with gray skin and some sort of red gem in his forehead, and wearing some sort of black armor. He introduced himself as Sinister to the safety committee agents. Then he began brutally killing every single one of them. As Sinister took me back to his secret lab in the Savage Lands, apparently he's had his eye on me for quite some time. The moment he had me, he started his experiments on me. He told me it was to make me stronger, complete. And the younger version of me believed he had good intentions. After all, he did save me from the safety committee goons. So I did not show any resistance when he began experimenting on me. He wasn't lying about making me more powerful. Though my mutant power is far more stronger than it was originally. At first, I was only able to produce some sort of black substance from the pores of my body, mostly from my hands, only my hands. Later, I was able to morph the black substance into shapes I have knowledge of, including guns to rifles, but the only problem I had at first was how I'm going to use ammunition for these guns. It's not ammo is not really plentiful in the Savage Lands. It didn't take me long to figure that problem out. I was later some training, I was able to create some sort of black bullets from the black substance. I even figured out how to shoot them out of my fingertips. I was only curious if it was possible, and I was correct. With my newfound abilities, Sinister couldn't help but take advantage of my power and use me to kill or capture any mutants that either caught his eye or he wants removed. And you're probably thinking I'm one of the bad guys. I don't see it that way. I am doing horrible things. There's no way around that. As much as I don't want to do this, I really don't have a choice in the matter. I have a device that's hooked to a metal necklace that has a bomb in it that's able to take out 3 city blocks in a city if it went off. If I disobey Sinister, he'll set it off. And he knew he had to find a way to control me some way, somehow. He knew I would kill him. And I still do. The moment I don't have this necklace or collar on me, I'm going to kill him. Somehow. Don't know how or when, but I'll find a way. After all, I am my mother's son.